Now that Vanguard has gone through an alpha and a weekend of beta, we have started seeing some of the major problems with the game, and one of the big things this game is doing that I think is pretty awful is literally taking Modern Warfare 2019 and putting a World War II filter on it. Now, this game is obviously on the same engine as Modern Warfare, just the problem with this is that the game is pretty much copying and pasting Modern Warfare 2019 and all the problems with that game. It's like Sledgehammer saw all the complaints and criticism about Modern Warfare 2019 and said, yeah, let's just keep it. It's just like, why? Now, one of the main things that this game has that was in Modern Warfare 2019 that I absolutely despise is the minimap. It is the same thing where if someone has an unsuppressed weapon, they still don't show up on the minimap when firing. It's like, what is the point of having a minimap at all when it's pretty much useless at that point? But if you want that classic minimap that should just be standard in every COD, you have to use a perk slot for it. Why? Why take something away from us, then just to give it back to us, but taking up a perk slot? It's just one of the dumbest things that this game has produced so far, and it still makes zero sense to me. Other than that, the game has other problems as well that wouldn't be here if they just didn't copy and paste Modern Warfare. Example 1 is squad spawning, the absolute worst mechanic for spawning. If you have been on Twitter at all in the past 2 weeks, you have definitely seen someone spawn trapping a whole team because of the squad spawning, and it's simply just not fun and fairly stupid. Another example is the respawn timer, which I believe is only in the tactical mode or whatever it's called, but regardless, who wants to wait 5 seconds to respawn every time they die? The only reason Modern Warfare 2019 did that was to significantly slow down the game, because that game was made for bad players that cry when they have to move more than 3 feet. But why keep it in Vanguard? Literally no one wants it besides players that have less than a 0.4 KD. But that's not all though. Mounting is back, which is terrible, and I know that's going to be a challenge for some skins, which is also awful, but doors are also back. Who, and I mean show me at least one single person that does not suck at the game of Call of Duty that asked for doors to be a feature in games in future CODs. Please, I am begging, find at least one person that said that. Almost every single person that played Modern Warfare said that doors were bad, and they still brought it back. Why? Now, thankfully you can't destroy doors, but still, they shouldn't have been here to begin with. Now, the last big thing that I do want to talk about that I've seen that I don't like is the visibility is pretty bad, and I also don't like the TTK as well. Now, what I've watched so far from the game is that the TTK is very inconsistent. It's either you get fried before your brain can even react, or it takes forever to kill someone and you almost get world starred. Hopefully they can work on that because it's not the biggest issue, but what is the bigger issue here is the visibility. I have seen multiple videos and screenshots where someone is in front of someone but you just cannot see them at all, and whoever's playing gets fried. That is just something that needs to get worked on, and when you're firing your gun as well, it has motion blur to the point where you can't even see anyone. I'll throw up some screens on images now, but it's pretty disgusting when you can't see anyone when you're firing your gun because of the motion blur. But obviously, there are still several more problems in the game, but the ones that I listed off are really the main ones that I think most people are talking about and the ones I don't like as well, but most of them are fixable if we just ask nicely enough, and hopefully Sledgehammer will take some of this into consideration, but who knows. Other than that though, I won't lie, the game has looked semi-fun when the SBMM isn't ruining it and people are actually playing the game. I like the sounds despite most people not liking the sounds. The game looks fun to the most part to play, and the maps are fairly interesting. Now, don't get me wrong, the visibility on those maps are still pretty terrible for some of them, but they look interesting nonetheless. Now, I haven't gotten to play the game yet, of course, because screw Xbox and PC players, but this weekend I will be able to get my hands on the game for a little bit, so we'll just have to see if they improve on the game until then. But until then, hopefully Sledgehammer takes some of this criticism into consideration and improves on their game, because I have seen them actively improve on their game more than other developers, so it has me somewhat hopeful, but hopefully they will definitely improve on the game by this next weekend. But if you did enjoy the video though, make sure not to leave without leaving a like and subscribing for more. But until next time, see ya.